Hey everyone, Kevin with Palmetto Cats. Today I'm going to show you how I rig up a brim buster to catch shellcracker. Hope you enjoy. Now you might be asking yourself, Kevin, what is a brim buster? Well, a brim buster is what my family affectionately calls a crappie pole. We use these crappie poles, the ones without the eyes, to catch brim and shellcracker in our lakes and in our rivers. And today I'm going to show you how I rig it up to catch shellcracker and brim. The brim buster I use is called a gator, or it's made by Gator, and it's called a crappie pole. This particular one is 13 feet long. You can find them in Walmart, various tackle shops, and I find that 13 foot is perfect for what I want to do. Sometimes it's really hard to find them in 13 feet. You normally see them 12 feet to 14 feet, all the way up to 16 foot. I think anything over 14 foot is just too long and just too much to deal with. This one telescopes like so, and all you do to get it out is you can just whip it, or you can take it out with your hand. So there's a few things you're gonna need before you can rig up a brim buster the way I do. One, you're gonna need some line. I just have some Zebco Omniflex 15-pound test that I've just had hanging around here for a long time at the house. 15-pound test is way more than you need, but I find that when you're snagged brim fishing, that if you are to try to get your line back, it won't break it as easy, and instead it'll bend the hook, which is why I fish with these little gold panfish hooks. They're a little bit bigger than what you would use to catch your bait fish with, because we're going after slabs. We're going after big brim and shellcracker. The next thing you're going to need is a split shot weight. You want to pick the split shot based on the size float you're using so that you don't sink your float. And the size float I'm using is just a little peg float, probably about 1.5 inches long, nothing fancy. You're going to need some electrical tape. I'll show you what we'll do with this in a minute. You're going to need some pliers for your split shot, and then of course something to cut your line with, some scissors or a knife. So before you get started, cut you 2 small 1-inch strips of electrical tape. You want to do this before you start stringing your brim buster, because you'll annoy yourself later if you don't. Next thing is you're going to take your line, you're going to put it through the tip of the brim buster eye, and you're going to wind it around the tip 4 or 5 times. And you're going to take a piece of electrical tape, attach it, and pull it tightly around the end of that line you just put on there. And I'll explain why I'm doing this in a minute. Next, you're going to take the other strip and you're going to wind it around the tip where the tip meets the actual pole. What that does is it just reinforces the tip. These tips come off very easily, so this will just give it a little bit more support. So the reason I wrap the line down the pole is so that all the pressure isn't on this tip, and some of the pressure is on the tip of the pole instead of just on the tip, the metal tip that goes on the end of the pole. The next thing you're going to do is fully extend your pole and allow for the line to come out while you're doing that. You're going to pull this line down to the end of the brim buster. I like to extend the line past the end about 2.5 to 3 feet. Again, this is personal preference. I find that if I extend it past the butt 2 or 3 feet, that I have plenty more casting distance if I need to get a little bit farther away. Next thing you'll do is take the peg out of your float, put the line through the float, Put the peg in, slide it up out the way. Next thing you're gonna do is just tie a fisherman's knot on your gold hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I go one more for good luck. And you place the back of that line through the hole, wet it, and pull it tight. And I just trim the excess away, just like that. Take your split shot. I like to go up about 5 inches from the hook. Again, it's personal preference. However much you put it up from the hook, you just shoot. You want to take your split shot. I like to put mine about 5 inches up from the hook. Pinch that line on there, take your pliers, and just squeeze it. Sometimes if I don't have pliers, I'll use my teeth, but that's not good for you. You can still slide this a little bit if you needed to. Just keep in mind whenever you're deciding on how far to put your weight away from the hook, you realize that that adds to your depth, because the weight is going to hit the bottom first. So just keep that in mind. Okay, we're almost done. The last thing we're going to do is retract our brim buster back in. Some of them have little plugs on the top. I've lost the one that goes to this pole. And then I just wrap it around the hooks that come on the pole. And you'll notice that I have electrical tape on the pole. That's to put your hook in. Stretch it down, keeps your hook right there. And that's how I rig a crappie pole or a brim buster. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you learned something. If you do it a different way, I'd love to see how you do it. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. It really helps. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe, and then hit that bell button so YouTube will notify you the next time I put out a video. Until we meet again, happy fishing.